we overanalyze things like analysis paralysis, I call it,
Yep.
right? We have heard that, we have seen it, and please, please, please go ahead and just decide.
You're listening to Investing for Good, a show that brings you the stories and strategies of people who are investing to build a legacy for their families, create a meaningful and intentional life by design, and impact the world around them. And now, here are your hosts, Annie Dickerson and Julie Lamb.
Hey everyone, Annie Dickerson here together with my awesome co-host Julie Lamb. Julie, how are you today?
I am doing excellent. How are you doing?
I am fantastic. I'm on such a high this whole week. I've been trying something new, which is I've been trying to do one video a day for our YouTube channel, but specifically teaching people about what we do, the whole marketing, branding, raising capital side of things. And, I started out my career as a teacher, and when something happens when I turn on that camera and I get in that teacher mindset, I just love it. So the first day that I did one of these videos, I was like, I'm going to keep it short, like 2 or 3 minutes, just a quick tip, right? And then it came out, it was like 6 minutes. I'm like, okay, still fairly short and bite-sized. The next day, I really started to get more and more into it. By the end of the week, the videos were like 15 minutes long. I'm like, okay, I just got to keep it short. But I cannot stop it from coming out. Once I start teaching, it's just, I get so enamored with just sharing the information, and I love it. And it's so perfect because our guest today, Vinney Chopra, he shares that same passion, and I'm sure all of our listeners will hear it come out in this episode. But as a little background, Vinney Chopra he's a masterful syndicator. He came to the U.S. 40 plus years ago now with $7 in his pocket. And he started out in engineering, got into sales, and then eventually he got into real estate. And he founded Monil Investment Group, which is his core company, but he has since done lots of offshoots of that. He's written multiple books. He's a speaker that's in high demand. He hosts his own podcasts, and he has his own courses. And he loves teaching. And so in this podcast, he talks a lot about how he made those transitions from single family to multifamily and now to senior living, and his advice for all of our listeners to just go out there and take some action, which we always love and tell people to do as well.
Yeah, it's always so fun to have a guest like Vinney on the show, because just the experience, 12 plus years of investing in big multifamily syndications. I think he said he invested in his first syndication as an LP in 1981. For somebody, that's a long time ago. And so for somebody, who's been investing for that long in these types of deals that we've just found 4 years ago myself, just such a wealth of knowledge. And so it was so fun because I got the chance to ask him at the end of the show, or near the end of the show, about what's happening in COVID and, with COVID and the impact on the properties that he owns, and just kind of got to tap his mind too on what are the different things that investors should be looking out for right now in terms of their investments. And I know that's a question on my mind, and it's a question on a lot of other people's minds in terms of, deals they're looking at. And, the people are looking for safety and security right now, just there's so much in the world that's uncertain. And, what better person to share that insider knowledge than Vinney? And, he talked about his 3 tips. I asked him for investing, and so it was great. It's, just a wealth of knowledge.
And I love how in everything, he doesn't take anything too seriously. He's his nickname is Mr. Smiles, and he's always just such a happy-go-lucky guy. He's got multiple successful businesses. He's a multi-millionaire, and he just has such a positive outlook on life.
Yeah, and you can't say that does not have an impact on all of his success. And I think that, when you live in a space that's happy and joyful, that good things come to you. You put it out into the universe and you remain a very positive person, and that things will be, just kind of handed to you, so to speak. And I think that's definitely, been part of the case for Vinney for sure. Super smart guy, but also, very happy and positive outlook on life in general. So.
Exactly. So much joy and so much emphasis on giving back and doing good, which is all, we're so much of that mindset here. That's exactly why we have Goodegg Investments and have this podcast. And for all of our listeners out there, if you're looking for a way to put your money to work for you in a way that will also help you make an impact in the world, you're going to love this show. And also, you should grab a copy of our book, Investing for Good, where we talk about the ins and outs of real estate syndications and how we leverage them to really make an impact in local communities. So to get a free copy of that book, just text the word book to 41404 and we'll send you a free hardcover book. All right, without further ado, let's get into it. Here's our episode with Vinney Chopra. Vinney, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. Hi, Annie. Hi, Julie. It's such a pleasure. And, through this COVID world, but with the internet, and we're not too far away. I mean, we could have been right there in the, studio together, actually.
Right. We could have just grabbed our masks and been in the same place. Well, the pleasure is all ours, Vinney. We are so excited to have you here. You have such an incredible success story. You're an absolute inspiration. And I know people call you Mr. Smiles because you're always smiling like you are now. Such a positive energy in everything that you do. Now, I want our listeners to get the full breadth of your story and your experience. And I think the best way to start is just to go right back to the beginning. Now, as I understand it, you came to the U.S. from India more than 40 years ago with just $7 in your pocket. And these days, now there's a lot that's happened in between, but these days we know that you run multiple successful businesses. You have over 4,300 doors under management across over $400 million in real estate assets. You've helped tons of people and you've done so much. So let's start all the way back at the beginning and then we'll build to where you are now. So take us back to that time. You have $7 in your pocket. You come to the United States. What were your goals and your vision of the future at that time?
Sure. I came from very humble beginnings, 6 siblings in the home. And mom and dad, we lived in 1-bedroom apartment in South Delhi, the capital of India. And I remember, I was just reminiscing that 25 paisa in India was my being lucrative because I would wait to drink a bottle of Coke every first of the month because I couldn't afford otherwise. And my mom will give me like 3 rupees, which is like a few pennies in USA currency, right? And the very humble beginnings, and walk to the school, and the school was in the tent, and when the rain came, the whole thing got washed away, all those things. But I always wanted to be an engineer, I recall, and I went to my Delhi university and did my mechanical engineering. About high school, I knew I wanted to come to USA because my uncle was here and he had visited in 1969, I remember. And I said, you know what, I want to go to USA for doing some master's course. So MBA, that's how I arrived here with $7 in the pocket. And my grandpa actually paid for my ticket, air ticket. My parents didn't want me to come here at all. They're no longer, they passed away, but they would have been mighty proud that, I became whatever I am today. But, when I came here, it was just like burning the bridges, right? I mean, you can't go back. So you got to go forward. And that's what has really, I'm not who I am today, like I was in the younger age, but I was exposed to some really, really terrific books early on when I arrived in this country in 1976. The Magic of Thinking Big by W.J. Schwartz, Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I read that many, many times. Think and Grow Rich. I remember Charlie Tremendous Jones, all those, and Zig Ziglar's and all. That's what got me going. So I sold Bibles and encyclopedias, door to door, knocking, got knocked off with a car also one time. Anyway, but that's how it just started. And I said, you know what, Vinney, you got to make the lemonade out of lemon, right? You got to do it. And that's what it's all about. If we get goals set ourselves and you have a burning desire to do well, then things happen for you. They really do. God looks out, they help out. More you are, helping, trying to help yourself, then doors open up, right? Mm-hmm. So I just excelled in sales, and my smile was kind of big or something. And one of the trophies said, Vinney Smile Chopra. When they gave me, I said, what? Where is my middle name? Kumar. They took that away. They said, you just smile so much. And that's been 43 years back. And I said, holy cow, okay, everybody thinks I'm smiling. I started smiling even more. And then I did an e-signature for 42 years as Vinney Smile Chopra. Every single correspondence I've done as a consultant, as a director, as fundraising consultant, as a motivational speaker, I've always had that smiling face. Wherever, I send any information or, proposals and things like, and emails like that. So that's my humble story coming out here, becoming a salesperson. I'm a salesperson at heart and a marketing executive. Then I retired 5 years back as a multi-millionaire from my other gig. Real estate is my second gig, by the way. But my company went 67 times. My stocks went up with the motivational company. So I kept on buying, stocks. It was a private company, and it still is. And so that helped a lot. But that's where I am. Yeah.
Wow. So it sounds like the whole smiling attitude, was that something like just from growing up? I mean, I can't imagine that it sounds like it was some rough beginnings. I mean,
it was very rough beginnings.
Family, and like, at what point were you just like, you know what, I'm just going to have a positive outlook on life? Was it through reading those books?
It was totally reading of books. I always felt that, if I'm reading a book, I still believe the same way. I never complete a book, by the way, never read it from front to back. I look for 3 ideas, just 3 ideas. I want to pick up 3 ideas. I open up the book in the middle, open up here, try to read a few pages. Then I say, does it make sense? Did I grab something that I can implement right away? That's how I have become who I am. Slowly, then following Tony Robbins and Zig Ziglar and Maxwell's, all these, great people, Wayne Dyer, all those things. So that's how, when you set up your mind right, that's what I found out. Everybody was talking about, it's the study of the mind, and you got to train your mind for success. That's all it is to it. Rest of the things we do, education and this, and do all these activities, if our mind is not right, and goal setting. My friends tell me when I was growing up, they said, Vinney, you were a goal setter. I said, what do you mean by that? I don't remember too much of those. He says, no, you always had some kind of plan. You always had written down some to-do list, and you wanted to accomplish those lists, things like that. But we never had a refrigerator at home, never had a telephone, never had a television, never had a car. I remember, this is really funny. My grandma, showed the horoscope, right? They say, how is this boy is going to do in life? And the guy said, he's going to have cars all around him. She says, oh, he'll be a policeman then. With all the traffic, driving the traffic,
Oh my goodness.
Funny. Well, they were absolutely right. You've got all kinds of, you've got houses and cars. I'm sure you have lots and lots of, 10 of everything. But you also, through all that you've done, you've also helped a lot of people. And we'll definitely talk about that aspect of it as well. But before we get into the real estate piece, hold on. So there's a hole in the story. So you came with $7, then you sell Bibles and encyclopedias door to door. And then at some point, but not until recently, you got into real estate. So what were you doing in the interim time?
Surely. What happened was I converted myself from an engineer. I spent 5 years. I got degree in distinction, actually, which is one of the highest degrees. I worked for Larsen Toubro in Bombay, which is #1 company in India now, Reliance Group, actually. And I was in heavy fabrication master planning. I enjoyed my job thoroughly, but I always wanted to have that desire to come here. I said, I want to go to USA and learn MBA, then I'll come back. Engineer and MBA would be amazing, combination. But I didn't get visa for a year and a half. I mean, they will deny and deny and deny. And I just was persistent is the word. And then I landed here. But after I tried these sales, I did really well first summer. It's only in the summer because you are going to school in the school regular George Washington University. I was going, and there were students from Stanford. They were from Harvard, by the way. And this company is amazing. 4,000 students from all over the big universities. They come and then they learn the techniques of sale, self-reliant, running your own business, and then they do these sales. I bought my first car for $700. I remember. So next summer I went again and sold again in Pulaski, Virginia. Then third summer, my last summer, I sold in Aiken, South Carolina. And I saved like $12,000. Never took a loan ever, and then graduated in MBA. But then I had converted myself to be a salesperson. Not an engineer anymore. And then I had to get a job, full-time job. I remember buying 5 suits in Columbia, South Carolina. I go to this tailor, and he says, "Oh, Mr. Chopra, okay." I said, "I want 1 suit or 2 suits." I came back to pick up. He had 7 suits. I said, "Okay, what the heck? I need to get a little bit more dressed up with this new profession in motivation speaking and all that." Anyway,
that tailor was a good salesperson.
I know he was. I'm a softie. I love shopping. Oh my gosh, love shopping. I've had these 13 shirts show up, all kinds of them. I just tell my wife, says, "Oh my gosh, there's another parcel out there, So anything, I'm just saying, what if I can't go out to shop, let me just shop online,
I hear you.
So let's fast forward now. So you get into sales. You started in engineering, then you get into sales. So when in the story did real estate come into the picture?
Okay. Real estate started, living in the Bay Area, east side of the Bay, for 40 years. We just celebrated our 40th wedding anniversary. So we came here in June of 1980, right here. My friends were in real estate. Oh my gosh. So we meet over the weekends and they say, "Oh, I have this rental house and this and that." So Kanchan and I, we were young, right? Not too much money in the bank. I had minus account, by the way, when I got married. My wife said, "Oh, where is the checking account?" I said, "What checking account? What are you talking about?"
This is what you get.
Yeah, it's amazing. Thank goodness she had saved some money. So she brought some money from she's Indian, and she was in Toronto working, and she brought some money. Thank goodness to that, because we paid that money down to get our $99,000 home on a Valentine's Day, I remember, in the East Bay. Because of her savings, my money was in the negative.
Oh my goodness.
But we started to get the glimpse of what's fixing to happen is real estate is big over here, right? So we bought this property in Modesto, California for $11,000 down, I remember. and 65,000 total price, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It became 315,000.
Wow.
Appraised like in 2-3 years. And we pulled out $270,000 loan because I was reading books and all that. So people said, oh yeah, take the money out. And then we invested and went to Phoenix, bought 3 properties, I think, 2 in one day and 1 after that. Then we kept on buying all over single family homes.
You love that shopping.
I know. You know. So that's where we were. We were in single family homes all over. I built one too, custom home, and I sold it in the valley. Then in Bakersfield, we bought a 1-acre lot. There were 4 homes on it. We were going to build 32 units multifamily. So my bug was there. I even invested into 165 units in Reno as a limited partner, as a LP. This is 1981, 82. So that's way back. And they were crooks. I'm sure they're not going to listen to this, but these were my friends. They were crooks. You know, they were general partners. They made all the money, didn't give us any cash flows or nothing. So it really taught me pretty bad lesson, you know, right there. But then fast forward about 2005, 15 years back, I became broker. My wife said, Vinney, you know so much. You're buying properties. You know so much. Just go in and sit in the exam. And at that time, in 2005, you didn't have to have a realtor license or anything at all. With your experience, you can come in. So I passed it. And that's when I said, okay, we are going to be in commercial. And that's when I started to explore office space and industrial hospitality, all that. I was going to join actually Sperry. I still remember that in San Leandro, because I was told that I could get $150,000 commission for leasing an office because you have to pay commission on the 5-year lease or 10-year lease. So the seller or the owner has to pay the broker that much. So I said, okay, that sounds good. But then I said, multifamily, oh my God, somebody told me about multifamily. I literally went berserk whole week. I bought systems, I bought books, I just read. You should see I think I have it somewhere. I highlighted everything on multifamily, logical mind, right? And it just made sense to me.
So tell us about that. Tell us about that. Because I want everyone who's listening to know, obviously we know, but I want everyone who's listening to know from your perspective the value of multifamily and why we are so focused on it. So go for it.
It really made sense to me because all these homes all over, I was doing motivational speaking, fundraising, and then we could not really manage the assets. So we were giving to property management companies all over, but I was trying to hold down the cost of repairs by holding contractors in my database and all that stuff, right? But what it is that it's economies of scale. It just made sense to me, 20 different homes, all scattered all over, but having 20 residents living under 2 roofs, if there are 2 roofs, you know, of the 10 units on this side, 10 on this side. So only changing 2 roofs and also collecting money quickly from all 20 residents, also be able to take care of work orders by having a part-time, technician, HVAC certified. And then, of course, the transaction was the big thing. I said, holy cow, how many times I had to qualify for the loan to buy these single family homes. And in the multifamily, in one deal, my first deal I bought was 14 units for $180,000. $180,000, almost 12 years back, and then last year I bought $52 million deal. Holy cow, 180,000 to 52 million. 52 million, holy cow. So scalability is amazing. And it just made sense to me when I started to put the numbers with the cash flow. Oh my gosh, and in single family home, you can't really increase that much value. It's going to be comparable to all the homes all around there. Even if you build the biggest Taj Mahal, it's not going to get you that money. But in the multifamily, you could increase the income, you could decrease the expenses, and the NOI, net operating income, determines the value of the property. And as the gentrification happens, because I couldn't afford much, before we were C minus, C minus, C, then B minus. But the key thing was the cap rate. When the cap rate goes down over the time period, if you buy in the right path of progress, that's the huge part where the Starbucks were coming and this and that. And then getting pocket listings. I write in my book, napkin listings, because a lot of brokers, if you are really good to them, and I just got this $35 million deal 2 weeks back. We just took it over, right? Austin, Texas, 308 units. And the broker knew me from 9 years back. Hold on. There were 16 buyers, 16 very, very shrewd buyers who wanted that property. But because I knew the broker from 9 years back, he says, Vinney, you are the easiest person to work with. I said, oh my gosh, you remember it, Michael? I appreciate you. And then, he was able to guide us along, and we loved that. We loved it. And now we took over, possession of that. We are going to be looking at some more assets. I'm very, very high on Austin and Melbourne area. We bought 35 million there in Florida. Tech world, because tech jobs will survive anywhere. COVID has had zero effect. We are collecting 98% of the rents all through the COVID, right? So, and then the other thing which I'm just talking and talking, what I'm really excited is now I don't have to go after the workforce anymore. What do I mean by that? I've been sending out signals in the universe. I want to get into multifamily in senior living, because I'm a senior. I just turned 68. Just last month, right? 68. So I just feel like I can help so many seniors to really invest with me and live in the senior communities, which will be double the effect, And that's where now I have to go to retired people places. So I don't have to chase the jobs anymore. I have to just go and mindset which are the communities and towns where seniors are retiring. So that's where we are doing like 4 build-ups. We just started Punta Gorda. We just built Cape Coral. We are going to Williamsburg, Virginia, all that. And then Palm Bay and all the good ones.
And senior living is such a good space to be in right now, just because with all of the job losses, right, in the senior living space, those people already have money, ideally, set aside to be able to afford the expense of growing old. And so losing jobs doesn't really affect your ideal resident, right?
Not at all. Julie, you said it so right. Julie, both of you, I did a whole scale. Like we are building it from scratch, right? We're taking ordinance changes and all that permits. So my partner and I pay all the money, millions, whatever we need to buy land. But then once it's all green light, we raise the money in day and a half or 2 days. And then we break the ground. So our investors don't get cash flow first year because it's dirt. But second year and third year, they get so much. Like, I don't know if we're not selling any security to anybody listening, by the way, and all that, but we give like 21% per year returns for 3-year hold. So that is spectacular. But the best part is zero deferred maintenance because it's brand new building, zero delinquency because we get our money on the first of the month because the residents who come into our property, they show 3 years of rent. So we do financial due diligence and medical due diligence on all our seniors who come in because it's very difficult for them to move around from one assisted living to another assisted living. So we just have set some very high expectations, and then we start leasing up. By the time we open the facility, we are 50% occupied already. We get to about 90% occupancy in 9 months. So it's just ridiculously, easy, very easy job. And it's all operation, but if you have the right community, it's not community manager, it's the director, and then the nurse, only one nurse only, and then have caregivers, a lot of caregivers. Then we have professional kitchen with the restaurant style dining and snacking and the movie theaters in there, libraries there, spas and all that, and the courtyards, no elevators. We always do them one story for like 40 units, for 80 units, 80 units, one story only. So we are very, very excited. We want to build 6 to 10. Hopefully I can raise, that's how I said we want to raise 100 million next year, because it costs us only 4 million to get this whole thing going. 4 million. That's all. It's a very small raise for us to, because we are on the construction loan, my partner and I, and we are actually starting a small REIT now. Hey, how about that? Small REIT for senior living, so that we will be getting some big hedge funds invest with us, and then we'll be able to do it.
Wow. Yeah, I remember when you showed us the video and the pictures of the senior living, I was like, Vinney, save me a spot. I want to go live there.
They need a place like that for parents.
I know.
Tired parents.
It's so true, so true. I mean, that's the main mission. We want to spoil the generation that spoiled us. That's our tagline. That's my partner's, he's the originator of that tagline. But we are so excited to see our 83, 85 to 103 years of age we have right there. Zero COVID effect, zero deaths and everything. We were just in the newspaper in Florida, in Cape Coral. We came up with a great way for uniting the family in a separate quarantine room, which we are able to get the negative effects and all that. Governor even talked about that. Then we were implementing the same thing in Michigan and all. So we are cutting edge in that circumstance. But the key thing I find is that if you have your mind right and you want to have the higher purpose, which is we don't want the seniors to live in smelly old buildings. That's what it really started, right? And then my partner said, he's built 23 of them, by the way, 23 of them very successfully. So now what he wanted to do was to build a senior living at a lower price, nice price, so that people can afford, and then so that he could take his mom or dad there, That's our main thing, yeah.
Yeah, I think what's so remarkable about your story, Vinney, is that there's so many points in your story where you started with having very little or no experience in something, and then you said, you know what, I want to try this. And then you went and made it happen. You did it with single family, and then you did it with multifamily, and now senior living. And I know that a lot of our listeners are probably, they have something that they want to get into, but a lot of people are intimidated, or they don't have enough time, or they feel stuck. So can you tell our listeners, how you were able to move so nimbly into these different areas, and what advice do you have for people who might be wanting to get into something new?
Thank you. So good question, really. And what I find is that let's really be thinking. And I think the thinking time is the best time I can ever spend. Anybody can spend a lot of time. We get so stymied with our W-2 job. We get so much taken away with all the distractions in our life. I think the one thing I would like to really say to your audience, and mine too, is that, think what you want to do. I mean, just think where you are right now. If you have been really happy in the last 5 years and you're happy today, then stay where you are. But if you think that you could be a better, version of you, and you could really get into those streams of income, I always say that, become an entrepreneur. I mean, that's why in my youth academy, I teach young people in the high school and college and all that, go start a business, get an LLC formed, Wyoming LLC. It's so cheap. And then you start building your savings account so that you can get into real estate or any kind of entrepreneurship. Don't waste time on the television and this, and don't get into all this fluff, but learn the success principles early on. I'm sure a lot of our audience is way up, right, in the age and all. But the biggest thing is, are you happy? But even if you're happy, try to find out what more can you do. I really love that book I read many years back, 35 years back, Built to Last. And it talked about the whole thinking changes when you say, I can do this and that and that and that and that and that. It's the giant and, but if you replace and with or, you're so limited. Your mind says, I can only do this or this or this or this. So that's what has stuck with me always, literally. I never say I can do only one thing. I can do 15 things at a time, and it's just so exciting that I also opened in the COVID. Well, last year, Monil Hospitality, we bought Hilton Garden Inn. We are buying Hilton Comfort Inn. We are buying Marriott Courtyard. So that's also multifamily at its core, because my residents pay me at the gate, right there at the counter, before they use the room upstairs for the night or 5 nights. So it's a multifamily. I just try to do it that way, right? And then branding is my other company, which is just doing great, great things. So many people are coming with us now, and we are able to build their brands to a big, big place, Then, of course, the cloud defense, which is my startup I'm not the founder, but my very good friend is, and we are already getting orders, over 400 K order. We got it. We are into millions now within 7 months. Yeah.
This is just so wild. I want to be like you when I grow up, Vinney. I am going to be like you. I have like a short attention span, and I'm just into like anything and everything that will make me some money.
I'm so proud of both of you. I want to say that publicly right now. I'm so impressed, what you're doing. We live not too far. And, when the COVID lifts up, we'd love to invite you for dinner at our place here in Blackhawk in Danville, and it'll be wonderful. But you're doing so good for so many people, and I really congratulate you and salute you. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate that. So I do want to spend a little bit of time, because you are such a wealth of knowledge and you're getting into so many different areas as it relates to real estate investing. And I know one of the things that's on a lot of investors' minds right now is the impact of COVID and how COVID is impacting many. Maybe, can you talk to us a little bit how it's impacting senior living, if at all, positive or negative? I mentioned a positive aspect of being investing in senior living right now with everything going on with COVID, and then talk to us a little bit about how that's affecting multifamily and what you see kind of moving forward in the next 12 months for investors in investing.
Totally. I would say that yes, the C-class assets which I have in Texas, they have been hurting. Not to say anything wrong or like that. We've been very conscientious in communicating with the residents. I always say residents, never tenants. And our community managers, our asset manager, everybody, we are vertically, integrated. So we have been, and my daughter, who lives in San Francisco, is the VP of operation. So we've been very much on top of with everybody. And we meet twice actually a week, not even once a week now, just to make sure that their needs are met. And we are able to give lot of our places, we are doing really well, by the way, And then the ones I bought last year, 2 of them are doing extremely well in the tech sector, like I mentioned, and we just bought 2 weeks back, the one in Austin. I would say there will be some foreclosures coming. They have to, because a lot of people took, I don't know what percentage, 34% or something took forbearance. It's not forgiven. The debt was not forgiven, but forbearance took that 100,000 payment or whatever, or 200,000 in our case, for several months, 3 months. And now we have to pay that real 1 month payment plus that extra. So a lot of people, we find that, and I've been trying to read up quite a bit, that there will be some properties coming on the market. It has to happen just to bring the normalcy. Of course, the jobs, so many of the other, the blue collar jobs are so much hurt, with the restaurants and retail businesses and things like that. So that effect is coming. But at the same token, I'm a very big believer that when recession hits, the people who really are vigilant and who are conservative in buying the things, they'll be the biggest winners. I'm telling everybody right now. And that's what I teach in my class also. My students are closing deals, literally closing deals. One is closing deal today, John Russo. He's buying his first apartment right now. He's buying second one. He just texted me, Vinney, the same brokers they had lunch with, they've given them 3 more deals, napkin listings. He says, Vinney, I got 3 more deals. And my other students, like they just closed one, another one, they are on the verge of closing. I mean, it's just amazing how much activity is getting there. The biggest thing is be conservative. Don't take too much loan. I mean, we just took 65% LTV the one week before, right? We never go debt in the renovations. We don't go bridge loans at all. I don't believe in those. I like fixed loan. I got 2.59%, 30-year fixed from Fannie Mae. I got 10-year fixed, 30-year amortized, 10-year fixed with 3 to 5 years of interest only. Money is so cheap right now. This is the perfect time to jump into real estate. I mean, this is the most perfect time, but be conservative and have long-term fixed debt. I don't like floating debts at all because then, you get in trouble, right? So, and then don't do too much leverage. That's the other thing. But stay in the game, because if you're not in the game, nobody's going to give it to you on the silver platter. I always say that, you got to play the ball. You got to be stepping on the plate and hitting it, right? But let's talk about senior living and COVID. I just did my show. I do this show every Thursday, right? So I was reading this, real estate investors favor senior housing. Look at that. So there's so much information out there now that COVID, look at it here. They said, many of the experts are saying, actually, the places for seniors, I'm not talking about the rehab centers or the nursing homes, because they are the most prone places where COVID came through the hospital or through some other interactions through their family when they came in there. In our assisted living facilities, we had 0 COVID effect and 0 deaths, right? So we locked down rightly, and we didn't even let the families visit their parents. Even birthdays, we didn't let them come in. They have to go do it through the window, through the videos and all that, and of course, and the families appreciated that. And now we have special rooms where, they could arrange for, they have to prove to us 14-day, negative, all that. And then their parents come there and they are able to meet and have lunch with them, so on like that. So cutting it, I would say definitely, please don't throw the baby with the bathwater, like I say that, because of course, some of the assisted livings or even independent livings and senior housing, right? The ones which are like 3, 4, 5, 6 story with the elevators, there might be some flats coming, some changing of the building permits might be coming down the line. I'm not sure, but I think there has to be certain more regulations, I think is the word, how they could really save lives. Because as you know, nursing homes are one person on top of another. Oh my gosh, it's just so sad, anyway. But our whole model has been kind of spreading over 5 to 7 acres for 80 residents. So we want to give them the quality life. But I don't know if I could share more. I know euphoria is there. I mean, it is there, but my investors have shelled out 4 million, 4.2 million, 8 million. That's 17 million, close to 17 million in just last 2.5 months, and I'm ready for another one. Oh my God, even before December. Because now my new business is, are you ready with my new business? Another one. This is in senior living also. But what we decided is that my partner has been building this senior living, very nice with sweat and blood, and running them. REITs were coming and buying them. So he and I just started a brand new business where we will be our own REIT, and we will not be selling any of our buildings after 3 years. We will sell that same building to us with new investors, and now we'll be able to give them for 7 year constant cash flow without headache, because it's multifamily stabilized now with accelerated depreciation again, because every time you change the property hand, it goes back again. So you can accelerate, and you can, all the tax benefits, right? So that's our new business now. Not only build up of senior living, but now stabilized also, and giving our investors some very high returns.
I love that. Well, I can't wait to see it. Definitely make sure I'm on your investor list. I want to take a look at these deals.
Thank you. I'll send it to you guys, because it just got ready yesterday.
Yeah. Definitely
$1 million. Minimum is $1 million in that one, and 2 million, and then the whole deal 3.5 million. And if anybody puts, it's not an offering, guys. I want to make sure, because it will be sold by the time this recording comes out, by the way. Yeah. But it's a very good product, which we are very excited about, giving upfront cash flows of 16%. And a lot of my high net worth investors are saying, Vinney, I love your cost segregation, but when you sell it, it's a phantom gain. And then we have to pay taxes. Can you bring out with a product where we have to pay no taxes? So that's what this product is. They just get everything up front in cash flow, and then nothing at the back end. But most of the people are paying 8 or 9%, cash flow with no upside. We're giving 16. So we said, let's just give them the bundle, right up there.
Just give it all to them. Just give it away. Give them that value. I mean, that's how you grow and scale, is you give it all. Yeah. Okay. So if investors are out there right now looking at deals, what are the top 3 things they should be looking for in deals to be conservative, to make sure they can weather the storm through everything that's happening with COVID? What are kind of the top 3 things?
I would say definitely, you want to make sure mission driven. That's a big thing. What's mission driven is the units have to have some way to increase rents. Please be very particular. Those days are gone when you could increase the rents and increase NOI quickly. You just say, okay, I'll increase 3%, 4%. That's not going to happen. I think that those times for the next 2-3 years is going to be very, very downward pressure on rent increase. So please remember that. Secondly, don't over leverage. That's the other part. When you're underwriting it, please take 65% LTV and look at the numbers, how they shake up for the cash and cash. I know the cap rate, I've always bought 32 deals I bought with not really looking at cap rate that much. I have always gone after the cash flow. Cash flow, COC, cash on cash is the king, right? The other thing is, if the passive investors are investing, of course, please be careful, because, some of the, operators are extending themselves little too thin, and you want to be careful. You want to be careful, because then the deal can go sour, so as to speak, because it's not what we buy. What I've realized in the last 14 years is it's not what I buy. It's the day I get the keys to the property, my work begins. literally, because if we cannot manage it as we projected, then everybody's a loser, right? So that's a huge part. Who are the operators? How many people are in the principals? How they got to know each other? What's their succession plan? All those good things, and the track records and all that. But the big thing is, do not say that, okay, I'm going to wait till this whole storm goes away in 3-4 years. Then you'll be dealing with people who said, oh my gosh, I should have invested in 2008 and 9 and 10 and 11, right? It's the same time, which is, I don't think it's here yet, to be truthful. I mean, most of the brokers I'm talking to in the capital groups, they're saying, Vinney, maybe shaving off of 3% from the price, maybe 3 to 5%, but that deep discount is not here yet. I think that's going to come next year. I think it's going to come next year. Yeah.
And you do think that is going to come? I know, because I know some people are thinking we're not going to see as bad as it was in 2008 and 9.
I think it may not be as bad, Julie, but somehow I'm a very positive guy, right? But all the reports I see and what's behind with the election year and all those things, if I put them, assimilate all those things, the foreclosures, all these non-payments, and all the different, in Fannie and Freddie, if you look at their, non-performance of the loans, it's increasing, and that is going to hit the ceiling. It has to hit the ceiling. Unless, last time, 2007 and 8, multifamily survived because it was not that bad. And it was the single family trouble last time. It's now economic trouble with the businesses closing and earning power, being reduced and the profitability being reduced. So all those things kind of lead me to believe that next year, 2021 and up to 22 also, will be a softening of the market.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So that being said, do you think, well, I think I know the answer already to this, but do you think now is a good time to buy, or should people be waiting?
Good point. I would say definitely talk to lots of investors, make your biggest lists that people are ready to jump on with you, and then you stay in the game in your markets where you want to buy, but stay with the brokers, right? Or do these campaigns and all that, because you will hit gold. You will hit gold, but you've got to be looking out for it. And then underwrite it well, quickly, and then you try to underbid, of course, and then say, how far does the seller go down, right? The prices have gone up. If you look at it, 2017 to 20, 3 years, it's been just a, over demand, I should say. Supply is this much, but everybody wants to get that, right? But I think it will be bringing down some expectations, and the sellers who are in trouble will be needing to sell, to be truthful,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. I think that we agree. And, in our course that we teach, we're big believers of the same. We're gearing up ourselves personally to, in our business to, get ready to strike some gold. So
totally,
we're ready for it.
Yes, I'll be with you. Let's collaborate. We will do some bigger things together.
Yes. All right, Vinney. Well, we could go on and on and on with you. So many questions we could ask. We'll definitely have to bring you back on for another show.
Love that. I'd love to get you guys on my show, if you don't mind. Next month, I only interview 1 day a month. So It's getting set up. And I know Dugan Kelly, he's by another attorney that we just did the syndication in Austin. And I was mentioning he's coming, and I'd love to invite both of you. That'll be terrific.
Absolutely. We'd love to come.
We'll get back to our conversation with Vinney in just a minute.
Have you been thinking about investing in real estate but aren't sure you have the time or the desire to manage the investment? Perhaps you're afraid, like we were, that you'll make the mistake of choosing the wrong mortgage or the wrong team and lose your entire investment. Well, that's exactly why we created the Goodegg Investor Club. We do the work of identifying solid real estate investment opportunities in the best markets around the country and then partner with you to acquire these investments, and then we'll all share in the returns. We'll identify the growing markets, strong, experienced teams, and the solid deals. We do all the heavy lifting of managing the tenants and the renovations, and as a passive partner, you get to enjoy all the benefits of investing in real estate: monthly cash flow, long-term appreciation, and the ongoing tax benefits. When we first discovered passive investing through real estate syndications, we realized it fit perfectly into our busy lives. We could put our money to work for our families, work less, and get more time back in our days so that we could focus on what matters most and discover our true passion and purpose in life. We've now helped hundreds of people invest passively in real estate syndications and are seeing the positive impact it's had on their lives. We invite you to partner with us by joining the Goodegg Investor Club today so you can start putting your money to work for you and get more time back in your day, because we know that when people have more time in their days, they can do the true work they were intended to do, and the world will be a better place. To sign up for the Good Egg Investor Club, go to goodegginvestments.com/invest and we'll take it from there. That's goodegginvestments.com/invest.
And now, back to our chat with Vinney Chopra.
We're going to move on to the Investing for Good impact round. We're going to ask you a couple of questions around investing for good.
Yes.
All right. The first question is around investing in yourself. So what is one way that your investments are helping you to live a better life?
Thank you. Thank you so much. This real estate has really changed my wife and kids' life, and we are giving more to charities, which is amazing. I love that. And we have moved into Black Hawk Country Club, which was one of my goals for 29 years. We lived outside the fence for 29 years.
You made
a few friends were inside, and we will come and we say, maybe God one day, So it's good to just dream. I'll say one thing. Dream. Things happen, Aeroplane is another thing, one of my dreams. So maybe it will happen, maybe it won't. But the thing is, we need to think big. But this lifestyle that we have now, going on vacations and, business class and staying at the 5-star, 7-star resorts and spending money, like crazy, it's good.
I didn't know they had 7-star resorts.
Oh, there are. Oh, yeah, there are.
I love it. But I love what you said at first. The first thing that you said was giving back. And I think that that's something that a lot of the guests that we bring on the show, and I know for Annie and myself, it's not so much even the money. It's the ability to have ourselves taken care of so that we can be in a position to give back and help other people.
Totally.
And that's the thing that I love. And so I love that you started off by saying that. All right.
More, yeah. That's the best thing. Yep.
All right. Second question is investing in others. So what's one investment strategy or life hack that you might be able to share with the audience that'll help them catapult their investing journey?
I would say, of course, they already know that they should be investing. I think the biggest thing I could give the hack is act on it. Don't just
love that.
We overanalyze things like analysis paralysis, I call it, right? We have heard that, we have seen it. And, please go ahead and just decide. Just make a decision. And that's all to it, really. Life will change. Even if we didn't decide on few things in the last week or 2 weeks back, or something is really bothering you, just sit down, and then you look at it, say, is it something I should do? Why I should do it? And if a lot more positives are there and a few negative, take that step.
Yep, that's right. And that's such a good message, because I think oftentimes people are so afraid to make mistakes, right? And it's really through those mistakes that we make that we learn so much, and that actually becomes the thing that takes us to the next level. And so, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Get out there and start making some smart investments. Don't go out there and just start making random investments, but go out there and start taking some action and start doing. So I love that. All right. Third question is investing in the world, which I know you're going to have a lot to say on this, but what is one thing that you're doing right now in your investments that are helping to make the world a better place?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Again, I really love every Monil Premier community that we have built, 32 of them, and now we'll be in the senior living, we'll be expanding. We really believe that our vendors are gold, our residents are gold, our teams, their families are gold, and then also spreading the knowledge all across the world. I really want to do that, and I think it's getting there. I was interviewed yesterday from Ireland, a group there. Australia was reaching out a month earlier. So I think word is getting out. And with my books also, I wrote that one book, then I wrote the second book. My third book is getting published very quickly on senior living. Then my fourth book is coming, Apartment Lending Made Easy. I want to teach the world what tricks I have really utilized over these years. I just have a great, desire to just spread, the knowledge all across the globe, actually, is the thing. Trying to give all my lectures and all in a very simple apps and things so that it can be duplicated and then people can really do. What I'm doing is nothing different, nothing. I'm not that smart a guy. I mean, anybody could do it. It's just putting your mind to it, and then using the time wisely. That is the biggest thing. Prioritize, delegate. Write down goals, prioritize, and delegate. You've got to delegate things. If I didn't delegate all my companies, different parts and everything to vice presidents, I wouldn't be playing bridge online for 2 hours every day. Can you believe it? 11:30 to 1:30. I play bridge every day now, online with the family.
I love it.
That is the life. Online bridge, 7-star resorts. And man, in every conversation that we've had, in all seriousness, in all conversations we've had, everything we know about you, your passion for helping others, for educating others, it comes through on everything that you do. So I'm sure our listeners are going to want to connect with you and learn more. So what's the best place that they can go to connect with you and learn more about all that you're doing?
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Annie. Thank you, Julie, for taking the time. I really value your friendship and what tremendous, great things you're doing. People can reach me. I'm on the, VinneyChopra.com, VinneyChopra, Chopra.com. And also, all the different posts on Instagram, on, Twitter and, Facebook and all the places. Actually, I don't do nothing. I want to tell you that. All my
you just play bridge.
Yeah, I just play, I get up in the morning, I'm all over the place. And, people, it's a good thing. But the biggest thing is, just be humble. I think the biggest thing is, you can reach me. You can text me, 925-766-3518. I will text you back, or my assistant will text you back. But the big thing is we try to, if anything we can help with anybody, please let us.
Well, Vinney Chopra, founder of Monil Investment Group, best-selling author, speaker, podcast host, mentor, and let's be frank, all-around happy guy. Vinney, thank you so much for being here today, sharing your incredible story and sharing your wisdom with all of us.
Thank you, and God bless you both and all your families and everybody. Thank you.
You've been listening to Investing for Good, the #1 podcast for people like you who are investing to build a legacy for their families, create a meaningful and intentional life by design, and impact the world around them. For more resources, check out goodegginvestments.com/podcast and be sure to join the Investing for Good Facebook community. And don't forget to subscribe and give us a 5-star review so we can continue to bring you amazing new conversations every week. Until next time, keep investing for good.